gathering. It's a 3-day gathering, and we're holding at the Broken Oak Ranch this weekend, the 13th, 14th, and 15th of October. And it's the Modern Mountain Man Rendezvous. Now, don't let the name scare you. It's just folks out there camping, and we're having a good time. We're going to be teaching a lot of classes. I'm actually going to be teaching a couple classes. One of them is going to be how to fry bacon and eggs in a paper bag over hot coals. Hi, Virginia. How you doing? Giving shouts out to people checking in. I'll also be out there helping out. Hey, Charles. How you doing, buddy? I'll be teaching a archery class with a fellow veteran. Now, the 3MR is a collaboration with an idea that started with me and a gentleman by the name of Brady Pasola from the San Diego School of Survival. And we were just talking about having a gathering that was just low-key, everybody getting together, having a good time. And it kind of morphed into this 3-day kind of like festival where we're teaching primitive living skills. We have an instructor from the SEER School that is helping out, Todd Gilgee. He does a great job. He trains special operations folks on escape and evasion, but here he's going to be teaching like wild edibles, primitive fire, land navigation. We're going to be doing tomahawk throwing. We're doing a thing called the Jeremiah Johnson Challenge where you're going to be running IMZ. How you doing, buddy? The Jeremiah Johnson Challenge where you run about 25 yards, you got to throw a tomahawk. And then you run another 25 yards, you got to shoot an arrow. Then you run another 25 yards, and then you have to throw a spear. And the best score is going to win a kick-ass prize. We're going to be having some special guests there. One, Stalking Wolf. How you doing, buddy? I'm chiming in, folks, giving shout-outs as people are coming in. It's awesome. I love doing this live show. Andy Tran's going to be there from Inner Bark. He's my little brother from another mother. And we may have a special announcement. There's a package that's being overnighted, and I'm hoping that it gets here. Wolfpack Woodcraft, how you doing? Justin, how you doing? There's a package that's en route being overnighted, and I hope it gets here in time so we can reveal it. There is cell phone coverage out there in Warner Springs. We're kind of out in a remote location, but there is some cell phone coverage. And if it does show, we'll be doing a live show with a reveal out there. Now, also, we're going to be having Rudy Reyes coming out. He is a fellow veteran. He's a Marine. He was on the HBO series Generation Kill, and he was also on HBO's Ultimate Survival Alaska. Had a chance to interview Rudy at SHOT Show. If you haven't seen that video, check it out on my channel. Scroll down to the SHOT Show coverage. Rudy's an awesome guy, and that was a very fun interview to do with Rudy. Also, another former Marine, Brandon Mills, who is a recording artist, singer-songwriter. He's going to be coming out, helping out. And we're going to be having a lot of vendors and Union. How you doing, buddy? A lot of vendors coming out. Just going to be a great time. Just veterans helping veterans. Now, the proceeds from this event go towards a 501c3 that a bunch of us fellow veterans created. It's called Triple B Adventures. And what Triple B Adventures does is we take active duty military and veterans out what we call pinecone therapy. And with pinecone therapy, we go out, we're doing hiking, we're doing campouts. Sid Vicious, how you doing, buddy? We're doing campouts, we're doing community service projects, we're doing skills clinics, we're doing all sorts of good stuff. So if you can't make it to the 3MR, you can always buy a ticket and do a comment in there to donate a ticket to maybe a veteran that can't afford to come, or a Gold Star family member. And if you don't know what a Gold Star family member is, it's a service member that's been killed in combat, and maybe their spouse or their kids can come on out this weekend. We're also selling shirts. So all these proceeds are going to a good cause. All of us, we volunteer our time. We don't make a dime off this. We want to give back to the veteran community. We want to help out our fellow vets. We understand that there is a void. Andre, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. We understand that there's a void out there in the community as far as veteran. Brosup, hey buddy. And we want to be able to help fill the gap. Now, a lot of these veterans are suffering from post-traumatic stress and things like that, and Pinecone therapy works out a hell of a lot better than going down to Balboa Naval Hospital. And I'm not knocking them down there. They do good work. But it's hard to relate to folks when you haven't been there and you haven't been boots on the ground. So we have a lot of good people in our organization, and it's growing. You know, we've only been around less than a year. This idea started basically from us at the 3MR, the Modern Mountain Man Rendezvous, and we were wondering what else can we do to help give back. And Brady Pasola from the San Diego School of Survival, he's the president of our organization, came up with the idea of maybe starting a 501c3. So we had folks chime in, we had veterans helping out. We had a veteran who's an attorney that donated his services and got us all ready to go with the IRS and all that good, all the legal mumbo jumbo that you have to do. I mean, it's just such a loving community, veterans helping veterans out. It's good to see that. I know I don't talk a lot about that on my channel because I do a lot of video reviews, because I don't like to brag about stuff like that. I like to just help out, basically behind the scenes. But these guys are busting their ass helping. I mean, and a lot of them are working 20, 30, 40 hours a week on this, and you know, they're just donating. They're not making any money off it. So my heart goes out to them. They said, let me look. Somebody said something about a pine cone here. I can't see. Let's go. Was the pine cone name from you? No, actually, it was my buddy Brady from the San Diego School of Survival. If you watch a lot of my videos, TT Tactical, all right, thanks for joining in. If you watch a lot of my videos, I'm up in East County. I'm up about 6,000 feet, and we have these coulter pines, and the pine cones are just like football size. They're ginormous, and that's where the name came from. Brady and company did a lot of community service up there. He runs a land nav course up there through his San Diego School of Survival. And if you haven't taken that land nav course, that's awesome. He trains a lot of Marines that are going into like recon and stuff like that and trying to get them brushed up on their navigation skills. He has a course out there that I think it has like 17 or 18 different waypoints and just takes you way out in the back country. I mean, by the time you're done, these guys are just breezing through any military land nav course. It's just awesome. But the Air Force also trains like their mountain warfare people up there. And so you never know who you're going to bump into. Got to have a little bit of ginger ale here. Talking too much. You guys probably want to know what videos I have lined up in the queue. Well, I have a video coming up of the Tops Poseidon. I've been taking my time with that because I really love that knife and I want to get some use out of it to really show you guys up close and personal. Hey Will, how you doing, buddy, from Venice Beach? Hey, come on down for the 3MR this weekend. You're close, man. You're only about an hour or two drive away. The Poseidon from Tops, that's an awesome blade. I got a couple archery videos coming up that I'll be doing, and let me see if you guys can see it in the back. There's that Air Force Escape that featured on the last video that I put out. I'm looking to do some coyote hunting, but deer season is quickly coming upon us, and I have a deer tag, and I'll be doing some traditional deer hunting with my recurve bow. That'll probably be a video that's coming up soon, what my hunting kit is for recurve archery. So, you know, it's a little bit harder out here. Broseph, how you doing, bud? Let's see. I'm gonna go, but they didn't approve my days. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Deer season's tough out here, especially with a recurve, because you basically got to get within, me anyway, within about 20 yards. I'm really not going to take a shot over 20 yards because I just want a good clean kill. And if you're going to do stock walk, that's almost impossible because the country's so open out there. Deer can see you or hear you or smell you from such a long ways away. Hey, Dan, how you doing, buddy? Let's see. Hi, John. With events being veterans, we willing to donate product? Yeah, of course. Get in touch with me. Shoot me a text. Eastern Whitetails. IMZ. I know, brother. I hunted them as a kid up in northern Maine. Maybe I'll do a video on tales from my father of a story of a big buck from a hunting trip when I was about 15 years old. And I won't ruin the story by giving away too much, but that buck took me on a chase, and I'm not going to tell you if we got the buck or not. Have to see if we make the video on that one, if there's an interest. But deer season's upon us, and then the holiday season with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that good stuff is upon us. And if you follow along on Instagram and all that good stuff, you've probably seen that I got a new camper trailer. My older camper trailer got messed up. I had a Coleman, which was made by Fleetwood. It was a 94 pop-up tent trailer. It was a Roanoke, and that thing had seen a lot of adventures. And we had taken it up to Silver Lake, which is on the eastern side of the Sierras. Hey, Tim, how you doing, bud? And we were fishing, we were hiking, just playing around up there, had an awesome time. It's up near Mammoth, California, just beautiful area. We were coming home, I stopped to get gas in Bishop, and filled up. Place was crazy. It was at an Indian Casino gas station. And got my gas, and my relatives, who also had a travel trailer, had parked in the casino parking lot. So I scooted forward, and I took 2 parking spots, and then a lady that was illegally parked beside the gas station backed up. Let's see. Yeah, it did happen on the way home. She backed right in the corner of my tent trailer and just ripped a gaping hole in the tent trailer. And the way she hit it on the corner, like on this piece of paper, she hit it like this. It just racked the whole frame, and the lift mechanism for the roof to come up was just, it was a bear to lift it. So her insurance came out, thank God. She only had insurance like 10 days earlier, which kind of scared me if they were going to kind of not pay out on this or not. And showed all the damage, and basically they said since the trailer was 23 years old, Fleetwood didn't make those trailers anymore, there wasn't any parts, so they offered me a payout to salvage it out. So I said, yeah, okay, it's 23 years old. So then we started looking for a trailer, and one thing led to another, and I went to an RV show. Worst thing to do when you go with your wife. And went to an RV show down at Qualcomm Stadium here in San Diego, and we were looking at some Winnebago travel trailers. First we were looking at the Micro Minis, and they looked really cool. We were like, okay, we saw one that we fell in love with, and then of course we go to the dealership. We waited till after the show. We go to the dealership, and the wife sees one that's a little bit bigger, called just a Mini. So we went from a 19-footer Micro Mini to a Mini, which was a 26-footer. And I'm like, OMG. So Mama's happy. She's got her trailer, if you follow along on Instagram, I got a few photos of it, and we'll be doing some adventures. I'll probably be doing a video on that trailer once I get, let's see, can you please tell us your setup for bow hunting? Mark, I'm going to be doing a video on that probably within the next week, so look for that. It's just been a time issue. Getting ready for this 3-day weekend event actually is just taken a lot of time and a lot of work, you would not believe. But we're looking to do some adventures. You're welcome, Mark, no worries. With that trailer and get out, and when we do, I'll post up some videos. Maybe we'll do some time-lapse photography. The GoPros are really good for that. I like setting them up, and I have a little egg timer that I can do a 360 with. Maybe I'll put it on the roof, or maybe I'll mount it on the side of the RV while it's going on its destination. We'll see how it goes. Now, here's a little story. So my buddies go, hey, you got a new trailer. Why don't you take it out to the 3-day weekend out there at Warner Springs? Well, my wife quickly put the kibosh on that. She's like, wait a second. You're not going to go out there with your buddies drinking, having a good time, and that's going to be the first time you use the trailer? I don't think so. So, secret to being married 31 years is you listen to what the wife says. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Just listen to what she says. Life just becomes a whole lot easier that way. So, so me and Andy are going to be tenting it out there at Warner Springs. So, you know, we're gonna be bunking up. I got a 5-man tent that I bought at Costco. So, and no crazy comments about Andy Tran and I getting freaky. It's strictly platonic out there. What happens in Warner Springs stays in Warner Springs. But no, you know, that's the secret for a long, healthy marriage. I'm gonna look at my office right here. My wife bought me something. So whenever I get confused, she told me to always refer to this. Now, listen up, guys. You young married guys, you guys that maybe are engaged, or even some of the old timers that just plain can't get it. Here's what she bought me, and I look at this all the time, especially when she yells to me from downstairs or she's asking a question. Here, I always look at this before I answer. Happy wife, happy life. I'm just going to leave it at that. For all you old timers that have been married, you know. You didn't know this was going to wind up being a love and romance show, but you know, we're trying to be well-rounded. Now, I'm going to throw out a question to you guys. I do a lot of reviews on the channel, and I'm looking to shake it up a little bit, but I just don't know if there's any interest in doing other stuff like trip videos. I know I've done some in the past, and they've kind of gotten so-so views, and sometimes a lot of these trip videos or a lot of how-to videos do all right, but like trip videos, you might only get a couple hundred views. So I'm just wondering if there is a like renewed interest, because to be honest with you, after doing 500, I think it's like 550 videos, I'm looking to shake up the channel a little bit. When I go bow hunting, I'll bring the camera along with me. You're going to see it up close and personal. Just like my buddy Tex Grebner says, you know, sex ain't like the pornos and hunting ain't like the real tree TV adventures. So we'll show the gritty, in your face, getting out there, realism of hunting. We'll show you the highs and the lows. Most of the time, it's a goose egg. So we'll take you along on that. Hopefully, whether I shoot with an iPhone or whether I shoot with a video camera. A lot of folks, hey Evan, thanks for the comment. A lot of folks just don't realize how hard the setup is on doing a shoot like that, because you got to be there, the animals got to be there, and everything's just got to be right. You know, the TV, a lot of these are just canned hunt. Arkansas Bushcraft, hey, doing well, buddy. A lot of these TV hunts are just canned hunts that they don't show you. On a lot of stuff on TV is not what it really is. So just word to the wise. But hey, with that, let me give a shout out. Random thoughts are coming in here. I wish I should have more notes than just Andy Tran's flight time for tonight, but we're just winging it, and sometimes that's the best. My buddy Matt Graham has a new show coming out, and he texted me a couple months ago, and we were talking, and he asked me, he goes, how's your bushcrafting skills as far as making shelters? And I was like, what's he talking about? I'm like a gear reviewer. And I go, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, I can't really tell you, you know, how's your shelter making skills? I said, well, that's not my wheelhouse. You know, I took wilderness survival merit badge and scouts. I mean, I'm not really, quote, a bushcrafter per se. You know, I'm a person that likes the woods. I guess you could say a woodsman. You know, I like hunting, I like fishing, I like hiking, I like backpacking. You know, I don't really play the survival game. I guess if I had to, you know, I probably could. You know, I'm 20, 30 pounds overweight, so at least I'd stay alive for about a month if I could find water. But, you know, I tried to get out of him. I go, you know, hey, well, what do you got going on? He goes, well, I can't really talk about it. And then about a week ago, I saw a post of his, and he's got a show coming out on Discovery where he's got bushcrafters, whether they're YouTubers, bloggers, vloggers, anybody who just loves doing bushcraft. He's got a show where he's going to be challenging people to do certain skills on TV. So that looks like it's going to be fun. I think they're going to be like making homemade atlatls and throwing them, homemade bows and shooting them. And I talked to him. Hey, Will, how you doing, bud? Are there camping show conventions for the outdoorsmen? I think there is. I think there's one in Utah in the spring. So I texted him and I go, hey, dude, I go, that show looks really cool. I go, we need to get together sometime, and I would love to go camping with you and watch you make an atlatl or a bow, and I film it, and we just take it through the whole process. So he was kind of hip to that, and he comes to California quite a bit because he surfs and runs Pacific Crest Trail and does all that good stuff. So hopefully once his shooting schedule winds down and he's teaching some skills clinics here in October, once all that's over with, I'm hoping that the stars will align. Matt and I will be able to get together. And hey, Robert, how you doing, buddy? And I'm hoping Matt and I will be able to get together. Whether I got to drive, just do an all-nighter and drive out there to go meet him in Utah at his secret bat cave location, or if he comes out here to SoCal, where he has family out here, and maybe we just take you guys through the whole process. I'm hoping. If anything, maybe I can get him and Andy again on a live show this winter. Also, I'm trying to get Rick Ward, the Urban Air Gunner, on the show for a live show. If you folks are interested in that, to do some air gun talk. He is the air gun guru when it comes to Air Force air guns. He knows them from the top down, the bottom up, and the inside out. So Rick's an awesome dude. He's also a rodeo announcer. So he's the real deal, man. And hey, Hicks, how you doing? So hopefully we can get Rick on the show. I've been trying to get Joe Flowers on the show. Bushcrafter 73, dude, you're in San Diego. You better come out to the 3MR this weekend, even if it's only for Saturday. Come on out, spend time with us. I lost my train of thought when I was talking so many things, but we were talking air guns. Rick is just a stand-up guy. Now we're talking about Joe Flowers. I've tried to get Joe Flowers on the show. Joe's agreed a couple times, and then our schedules don't line up, and then something happens. Hey, Arkansas Bushcraft, how you doing? Let's see. You were talking about going to start hunting for Bigfoot with Andy Tran. Actually, I have a fellow YouTuber named Pharaoh who runs a backpacking YouTube channel here in SoCal. I need a little sip. Been talking too much. Pharaoh runs an awesome channel. He explores mines. He takes you basically on a historical tour of the backcountry here in SoCal. He went on a Bigfoot expedition up in NorCal. Him and I have been trying to get together now for a couple years. We've both been following along on each other's channel, and just the stars haven't aligned, which I don't know why. He only lives maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. But, you know, hopefully we're able to get together, and we'll be doing an adventure soon. I know that he has a huge following. I would love to go up north to the Pacific Northwest where Andy lives and get out there and do some Bigfoot searching and just play around, get out in the woods. But on a side note, where I was camping up at Silver Lake up near Mammoth, just for all you cryptozoologist folks out there, they've had the highest Bigfoot sightings in all of California in that Mammoth region. So, and I mean, some of them have been recent. Marble Mountain, just a ton of it, with a lot of volcanic activity out there too. I don't know the correlation between that. It's not for me to decide, but just fun little factoids in the backcountry back there. And there's just a lot of room to get lost out there. Hey, Robert, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate your support. And with that, you know, he said that he appreciates the videos and all that. I just want to give a shout out to all you folks out there. I want to thank you so much. My channel would not be what it is without you folks out there. And there's a core group in the Wingman Nation that follows along on every video, on every post. And, you know, you guys are the reason why I get up, I get out there, and I try to put out the best content that I can. And, you know, hopefully you guys come along, you have fun, I joke around, we play around. Part of it's being campy, and hopefully we entertain you for, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes a time at a video. And we're just looking for big things happening. Some folks ask me, Black Rifle Survival, he's going to be out there at the 3MR. Awesome channel, check him out. He's my buddy, fellow San Diego native, Christopher, and he's got an awesome channel. I got to quit answering comments. I'm losing my train of thought on a live show. It's crazy. Maybe I should do better notes than just Andy Tran's flight time coming in tonight. But, you know, hey, some of the best shows are just off the cuff. I believe in being natural. Too many people try to be spit and polished, and then when you meet them in real life, they're never who they seem to be on camera. And hopefully when folks meet me and talk to me, I'm just the same person as you're seeing now as, you know, here at home. have to do the dishes, have to take out the trash, and remember my tip from earlier: happy wife, happy life. So, Arkansas Bushcraft in the house. So, you know, I'm just humble. You guys and gals have supported me throughout all the years, which, by the way, I was talking to Tex Grebner just the other day. Him and I have been on YouTube since 2006. That's crazy. See, we were talking about all this adpocalypse stuff, and you're probably going to start seeing a lot of YouTubers drop off, because the more as YouTube starts censoring certain genres, whether it be firearms and whether it be the news or whatever the titles. I had one video that got pulled saying that it didn't meet the advertiser's standards, and check this out. It was my daughter from SHOT Show, and she was doing a 511 purse video. I'm like, how does a purse offend anybody? There wasn't anything to do with like firearms in the title or in the description or anything. And then I did an appeal, and it took about a week, and then I was able to reinstate it. But that was just weird. It just kind of gives you an idea of where YouTube's going. Now, to give you a little backstory on that, because I've been doing some research about the video, because I'm just trying not to get anything pulled, is anything that comes up in their algorithm, and they're also monitoring the audio. So I don't know if they have a way of translating the audio into text, but anything that comes up with firearms, or if it's to do with current event news that they deem might be too sensitive for folks, certain keywords, then it's the robot is kicking it, and then you have to appeal, and then they'll have a human. Now, since I've only got 31,000 subscribers, I'm a little bit farther down on the hurry up and wait list than, say, somebody who has 500,000 subscribers. But ever since Adpocalypse, you see a lot of people not broadcasting anymore. And Tex and I were talking about that, because we had been subscribers to each other's channel, gosh, probably almost the full 10 years. You know, I started watching him when he was just a snot-nosed teenager. And we were just talking about it, going, you know, because everybody's going Patreon and everybody's trying to do this and that. And we both said, you know what, we got into YouTube for different reasons. We didn't get in it for the ad revenue. The ad revenue is nice. I mean, it puts gas in the Jeep and keeps it on the road, which is about it. I mean, we're not getting rich. We're only talking a couple $100 a month. But, you know, our reasons for doing it is because we just like making videos, and we just like putting out content, and we like the dialogue with you folks out there. So we're not going to e-bag. I'm not going to do a Patreon. I'm not going to do this or that. Now, if you're selling t-shirts, if you're selling patches, that's something different, because I think Patreon is like you're playing favoritism to your subscribers. So if you're a subscriber and say you can't afford to be a patron of one of the channels, and because you're on Patreon, they're offering special little incentives for you to do that, well, what's to say that you didn't put in the work as well, being a viewer over the years and following along? So I'm not going to alienate my subscribers, my viewers, in that regard. Everybody's working hard for their money. And even though the economy is getting a little bit better, the value of the dollar is still pretty rough. And the wages just aren't keeping up with inflation. So the last thing I'm going to do is start charging you to watch a video. Uh, you know, all I ask is maybe just let the ad run its course so I get credit for the ad, and that way we afford to keep the channel going. But with that, you know, I'm just gonna keep on slugging away. We're gonna shake up the videos a little bit. Also thinking about selling my Jeep, my mobile studio. And a lot of people are probably wondering, what do you mean? I've had a lot of cool videos I shot in that Jeep. I mean, I've done some cool mudding and all that stuff, but it's just a time ratio deal. My poor Jeep's been sitting out in the driveway now about 2 months and just haven't been able to use it. And it's just a shame, just with the job and just with stuff going on. I just think that I would rather see probably the Jeep go to someone who's going to make it a day driver or at least a weekend driver. You know, I've had it since 2009. It's a 2001. It only has 65,000 miles on it. And I think I've only put maybe 5,000 miles on it since I've had it. So that gives you an idea of how much I drive it. But I was exploring the back roads with it, the Jeep trails, the truck trails, just having a good time. But it's just sitting there in the driveway, and I just don't want to see the sun cook it. So I'll probably be getting rid of the Jeep pretty soon. So we'll probably do a video where, you know, the Jeep drives away and I do a crying farewell sort of thing with a new phase in my life. Hey, Tom. Now, I appreciate you. No thanks needed. Christopher's saying keep the Jeep because he's got an awesome Jeep. Sad day when the Jeep goes. You got that right. But, hey, hold on. Rule number 1. Now, she's not telling me to sell it by any means. She's not pressuring me to get rid of it and all that. This has been kind of my idea. Just because if stuff sets, and I used to work on jets. I was in the Navy. I worked on F-14s. I was an AO. I was an aviation ordnanceman. It's a fancy name for a BB stacker. Just what we do. Load bombs, load missiles. We didn't have bombs on an F-14, but we did missiles and guns. And one thing I learned with F-14s, if they sit for any length of time, just stuff starts going bad in them. If we kept them in the air, if we just kept flying them sortie after sortie after sortie, they would run for months at a time without a problem. But you let that bird set for a week, and then all of a sudden it's got hydraulic problems, electrical problems, avionics problems, weapon systems, delivery problems. It was just amazing how some of these boxes would just go bad just sitting there on the flight line. And it's the same thing with the Jeep. If you just let it sit for too long, you know, it's not doing it any good. So that bad boy's meant to be run, be driven, and we're going to try to give it a new home. So we're at 38 minutes. I'm going to try to wrap this up. Once again, I invite you all to come on out. If you're in SoCal, if you're in Arizona, Arizona is only a couple-hour drive. Come on out this weekend if you have time to the Broken Oak Ranch at 3mr.vet. The proceeds go to an awesome 501c3 called Triple B Adventures. Once again, we help veterans, we help active duty military, we take them out for pinecone therapy. And if you can't make it and you see it in your heart that you want to donate, purchase a ticket or donate a ticket to a fellow veteran, a fellow active duty military person. We'll make sure that that ticket gets to somebody, a Gold Star kid, Gold Star wife. Those are veterans that have died in combat and that they have family members that are left behind. We do work with them as well. Recently, Triple B had a clinic for Gold Star kids, taking them out, teaching them how to do stuff out there. I believe they went out to the Broken Oak Ranch as well. So if you follow along on Triple B Adventures Facebook page, they're always posting up all their activities, everything that we're doing. And that's all I can say. We're just doing our best, trying to help the veteran community. There's a big void out there, and we're just trying to act and do something. So with that, thank you so much for watching, folks. I appreciate every view. I appreciate every subscriber. I don't take you for granted. I know your time is valuable, and our time is worth more than money. So I appreciate the time that you spend and you watch my videos. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're coming on out, I hope to see you. Hit me up. Say, hey, John, I saw this broadcast. Guess what? This will be a little exclusive between you and I. If you come out this weekend and all you got to do is walk up to me and say this 2 words, Wingman Nation, I'll give you a channel patch. And I'm going to show you what the channel patches look like. I will give you a Wingman 115 channel patch. All you got to do is just walk up, say, hey man, I saw the broadcast, Wingman Nation. Pow! You get a channel patch. So, thanks for watching. This is Wingman with another live update. We got through it. Only show notes are just anti-trans. Time coming in. We're hoping to do a live show. If that package shows up, it's coming. It's supposed to be overnight. We're crossing our fingers. And I got the channel patches made at a place called The Studio. They do pretty good work, but I'm also trying to find another vendor also. Because their turnaround time sometimes takes a couple weeks. But I will see you out there, folks. Take care. Be good to one another. And thanks for following Wingman Nation. Out!